Hey YouTube! Just thought, literally, like the title says, I'm just jumping on here to say hi. I'm midway through my speed day at the moment, and I just thought I haven't done this in a long time. I haven't done this with the YouTube audience, so I just thought I'd jump on, say hi, and see what you guys are up to. See what's going on. See what's going on. Answer some questions, that sort of stuff. Let's see. Let's wait for a few people to jump on. Who we got? We got a few people in there. Good evening, I think it is, if you're in the US, which I think the majority of you guys are in the US. It's like mid-morning here. I'm midway through speed day. All right, here we go. We've got some questions. How come I couldn't make nationals? First question. I didn't go to nationals. I could have made it, but it's just too close to Zloty for me to be going down to nationals. I didn't want to be stretching my arm out this close. So I'm only 3.5 weeks away from leaving for Poland, and I just wasn't willing to risk a stretch in my arm. It looked like a really entertaining tournament down there, so that was really cool. I think that it was a really deep tournament, but it was missing myself and Danny Tesh in the 90 kilo class, which, let's face it, we would have taken gold and silver one way or the other. But anyway, not to take anything away from the guys who did, but yeah, that's why I didn't go to nationals. But yeah. Hey, from Alaska again, Giovanni. James O'Flannery, if the GOAT wants RVJ, what does that mean for my shot at the hammer? Yeah, how cool is it to see that John has thrown down the gauntlet to RVJ and potentially will be making an appearance back in the middleweight division of WAL. I know John is in the process of cutting weight at the moment. I think the weight's coming off him pretty quickly. He's gone ketogenic, and as much as I hate ketogenic, he swears by it as the only way for him to really lose the weight. But he's losing the weight, and he's looking really strong in all these practice videos. So that's awesome to see. But I think that, what does that mean for my shot at the title? Well, I got a few steps to take before I get a shot at the title. I believe I will get a shot at the title in 2020. I believe my next match is gonna, without question, be against Justin Bishop. I think Justin and I is a match that just simply has to happen. Let me get this camera stable for you guys. I think everyone wants to see me and Justin, and I think that's going to happen. I think Neil Pickup is happy for it to happen. He's the main man who sets the matches, and the producers kind of approve him from there. So I think that is going to almost, without doubt, be the next match that happens for me. I expect WAL 601. Or maybe not 601, but whatever my first card will be, it will be against Justin Bishop. I'm certain of it. Do I think I can beat Justin? Yes, I think I'm well and truly ready. And if that happens, I then may be given a hammer shot. But if people like John are in the mix, I might be put on the little back burner a bit. To be honest, I'd be happy for John to take the hammer off RVJ and then pull John. That'd be cool. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. I think there's going to be a lot more matches in WAL season next year. So, battle ropes in my workout. Nah, I'm sticking to Todd stuff. Thank you, David Ma, for the prayer for Eliza. John is weighing about 220 pounds now, I believe. Levan or Vitali, my pick is Vitali. Is there another bottom eight? I don't know with certainty. Devin Larratt may be keen. What's my side pressure max right now? I'm doing speed day right now. I'm midway through my session on speed day, and my speed day max, my 1 rep max on this vector is 65 kilos, but I'm going to beat that on Wednesday. So I'm going to take it somewhere up to around 70 kilos, and that is, of course, with the wrist wrench, the 2 7/8 inch wrist wrench. Indiana, hello. Would I want to arm wrestle Larry Wheels? Yeah, absolutely I want to arm wrestle Larry Wheels. And if you hadn't heard, Larry Wheels responded to me on Instagram asking me, basically, or saying that he'd accept the challenge for me to fly to his location. And I understand he lives in Dubai now. So that may happen. I'm going to keep talking with Larry. Larry's obviously a busy man, but if we can make that happen somewhere next year, 100% love to arm wrestle Larry. I think he'd be a little stronger than, or a little better, a little harder to pin than Jujimufu. But honestly, his fundamental strength is awesome, but I don't think that his arm wrestling ability is up there yet. So it'd be fairly comfortable for me. Who's winning the poll and who I'll face next? Good question. Chance Shaw is currently the leader. Vladislav Krasovskis is second, and Alex Beziazkov, schoolboy Alex Beziazkov, is third. What if Toddzilla gets in the middleweight mix? I would look. Who doesn't like the storyline of the coach versus the master versus the apprentice? I would love a match with Todd Hutchings. I hope he gets back. If he gets back into the middleweight, WAL, me and Todd. It's not going to happen though. He's going to stay heavy. He wants to beat Dave Chafee. What are your thoughts on the Aussie Nationals? Yeah, Aussie Nationals was awesome. I thought it was really cool. It was a really good turnout. The best part about it was the live stream was really high quality, and it was put on in Federation Square in Melbourne, which, if you've never been to Federation Square, for the Americans watching and that, it is like the busiest part of Melbourne City. So it was front and center in the public view. So that was awesome for the sport. Do I think I can beat John right now? No, I'm not going to say that. I think the training version of John is very different to the comp version of John. I've never felt the comp version of John. I can beat the training version of John, but I would be a very crazy man to say and assume that I think I could beat the comp version of John. I've never even felt that, and I can only assume that it is a good 10-20% better than the training version of John. Will I overtake steroids to get to the next level? For me, the steroid issue, I don't know enough about it, to be honest. What I am willing to do, as you guys may have seen, I got my testosterone levels checked about 2 months ago, and they were quite low. They weren't low enough that the doctor put me on testosterone replacement therapy, but it's something that I'll do in the future, without a doubt. I will get on testosterone replacement therapy when the doctor tells me that it's relevant for my life. And will that help in arm wrestling? Yes. Will I avoid? I won't pull WAF anyway and all that sort of stuff. Although I believe you can get a therapeutic use exemption if a doctor's putting it on you. So under those circumstances, I guess technically I would be. But I don't plan on going out and taking anything else. Hello from the Netherlands. This is really cool, guys. Thanks for jumping on, by the way. Do you think you had a part in reigniting the fire under John? John, thanks for that question. I don't want to take credit for anything to do with John, but John has John was a catalyst to my channel really starting to take shape and get a lot of opportunity. I also I think that when John and I are in the same space, John does get excited about the sport, and I feel like I was a part. I'm not saying I was the part, but I was definitely someone who's helped him reignite that fire for sure. So I'm not going to take credit for it, but I think it's awesome, and I think that I'm very honored to have been part of the process that has reawoken the GOAT. G'day Shane Carey, g'day Despised Icon, Retrovert. David Ma, how do you think you'll do against Ongabayev? Yeah, if I make top 8, Ongabayev's going to be one of the champions. How I go against him would really, I'll see him in the flesh when I get to Poland, and that will help me shape an opinion on how I would do against him. At the moment, if I'm taller than him, if I'm shorter than him, that's going to be a factor on how I would need to style-wise pull him. I know he's a top roller. So whether I try to out-top roll him or whether I try to kind of Todd Hutchins style him, I'd need to see that man in the flesh. But yeah, if I can pull with John, if I can pull with Todd, which I know I can, I believe I can pull with Ongabayev. How is John Brzenk managing his shoulder? John Brzenk is... last time I spoke to John, he said he is looking into the stem cell treatment and he's potentially getting that done. He's using his network that he's got to find the cheapest and most easy way to get that done. So I haven't spoken to him for a couple of weeks, but last time I spoke to him, he was looking at the stem cell. Kenneth Veach, what's a good way to strengthen your wrist? Brother, come on, just arm wrestle. There's heaps of ways to strengthen your wrist, man. Yeah, but arm wrestling just does that by itself. Who is your opinion, from Glenn Laybourne, who is, in your opinion, the next new unknown great arm wrestler? Ooh. There's many of them, man. The sport is growing so much right now that there's a lot of new hungry people on the planet. I think that people like Brendan Lemon Mulvihill on the way up, Chance Shaw's on the way up, I'm on the way up, Lachlan Adair's on the way up, and there's probably 50 other people on the way up that are similarly committed that I don't know about yet. So who knows? Word up, will we ever see WAL versus the top 8? Question from Kenners. That is a question that I will endeavour to ask Igor Mazarenko himself when I'm in Poland. So if you're in the supporter group, on the Pound for Pound supporter group, I'm going to try to get a live feed with Igor in that group, asking him that exact question. David Marr, still watching the commercials. Thank you, brother. Spaceman, does Lachlan have the strongest top roll on the planet? Yes, definitely. Invincible, do you think Todd Hutchins could beat Michael Todd? That was an interesting question there from Invincible. Todd Hutchins v Michael Todd was something that was fascinating. When Todd was here for the 2 weeks, we talked a lot about how he would potentially arm wrestle if he was to face Michael Todd in terms of a technique. That was actually something that he and I did a lot. I was King's moving for him, and he was searching for what feels like opportunities. And what I can say is he has a very good strategy, and there is a way that I think it could be a match. So will it happen? He's probably got to get through Dave Chafee first, but yeah, I'd like to see it. Do I think the Monster could beat Levan? Yes, I do think that Michael Todd could beat Levan. Is Devon only on TRT? Quasar? I have no idea. Shane Carey, can't wait to see you get busy at Zlotty, man. The haters are always lurking out there. Thank you, Shane. Yeah, that's so good. I've always had plenty of people saying that I'm not as good as I think I am, and that's okay. I always find when it comes to trash talk, particularly whenever I say something about myself, about my own expectations of myself, it's always something I truly believe. I never overestimate. I never publicly say anything that I don't believe. So I believe I'm good enough to win the Zlotty. Am I right? I don't know. We'll find out very soon. The reasons why I say I believe I'm good enough to win the Zlotty tour is simply, I know I have a good arm wrestling IQ. I move very well on the table. I was a student of Devon Larratt for many years in my early time in the sport, and I've added so much horsepower in the last 15 weeks under Todd that my numbers now, according to Todd, are good enough to win the Zlotty tour. My numbers in a side pressure sense, in a back pressure sense, in all those senses, according to Todd, is good enough. And if you look at my reportable numbers, I do believe they're very comparable to all the guys at the top of that level. And when I combine that with my table IQ, I think I have what it takes. The one component that I don't know yet and that I'm inexperienced in is the experience of just European refereeing and European starts. That's my vulnerability. But anyway, Zlotty 2, we'll see what happens. I remember when I first found, from Jack Lewis, I remember when I first found your channel, you had John come on the show. How did that come about? Yeah, okay, I'll tell you guys the story of how I actually got John on the channel for the first time. So the history, I'd actually had this channel for 4.5 years before I met John, and I was putting out content, putting just as much work into the channel as I do now. And Travis actually invited me to his Arizona tournament. And when I asked Travis, why on earth did you invite me to this tournament? And he actually paid for my travel. He paid for me to come to Arizona. He said to me, because every time I open up Facebook, all I see is your stuff, and I want you to help me promote the event. As part of the process, he was saying to me, look, you can stay with this guy, you can stay with that guy. And just jokingly, he said, hell, you could even stay with John Brzenk. He lives like 40 minutes down the road. And so I took that. I went, oh, okay, John Brzenk lives 40 minutes down the road from this venue. And I messaged John, and I told John what Travis was doing and that he'd asked me to come to help him promote it. And John, being just the very generous man that he is, not even knowing me, said, yep, sure, you're welcome to stay at my place. So I was like, mind blown. I got to John's house, and at that stage, I was hoping just to get one interview from him. I thought, wow, an interview from John Brzenk on my channel would be amazing. I asked John about that, and John said, nah, I'm retired. I'm done for the sport. I've said everything I need to say. I've been asked a million times all these questions. I don't want to do an interview. And so when he said that, I respected that and said, look, yeah, okay, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to have that interview with John, and I'm just gonna move on. So the week went by, and I competed in Travis's tournament, and it was 24 hours to go before I was to depart the USA and head home. And I was at John's place sitting in his backyard on his couch by the pool, and I was going to film a wrap up of the tournament. I put the camera on myself and pressed record, and John was sitting behind the camera, just kind of sitting back watching me film. And after I filmed this 10-minute wrap up of the video, he said to me, "Man, you did that really naturally, you did that really easily." And he said, "I could never do that on camera. I would never feel that comfortable on camera." And he asked me the question, "What are you doing on this YouTube thing? What is your objective? What are you trying to do?" And so that started the conversation. And John and I then, for the next 6 hours, drank beer and talked about the vision I had through YouTube and the vision I had for the sport. And John basically at the end of that conversation said, I would like to do anything possible that I can to help you with that journey. And so that was it. Some extra side notes. John has never let me pay him a cent. I've tried to pay John multiple times for his contribution, and he always says, "No, just reinvest it." So that man is amazingly generous. I owe him so much. But yeah, that's the story. Question from N. Who do I think wins between Gabby and Gobby? I'd back Gabby for sure, but I've never gripped Gabby. But I've watched videos of her and Ron Barth pulling and all that sort of stuff. And Chris Gobby's not very strong. Not on right, anyway. And I think I'd beat Chris Gobby on left now easy anyway. Top 5 arm wrestlers of all time. Too hard a question. Starts with John. I'll say John. I'll say Andre. I'll say Devin. I'll say Travis. I'll say Saplenkov. Yeah, that'll do. Taryn Broad. How insane was the 28 people in the 80s? More people. Yeah, the 80s killer class was very impressive. It was really cool to see that. It was only missing Jordan Davis, Grant Tolentino. But yeah, well done, Taryn, on your effort in that. Arm wrestling tables are expensive. What could you do as an alternative? Retrovert, $199, and build one. Yeah, Asaf, I was just saving myself for Zloty. That's why I didn't go to Melbourne. What do you think of Travis's $100 entry fee arm wrestling tournament? What do I think of it? I think it's fine. Until you've put your self in the position of a promoter, and you've got to realize the expenses of putting on a tournament, and the average amount of revenue. Keep in mind that this is what Travis does to feed his family. So I get no dramas with the $100 entry fee. Me versus Jeff Hale would be interesting. Yeah, I'm sure me versus Jeff Hale would be interesting. I think that I'm far too big for him. One thing about me is I always look smaller than I do in real life. People who have never seen me in the flesh and have only seen me on photos and videos think that I'm a lot smaller than I am. I'm 6'2". When I say I'm actually not 6'2", I'm like 6'1" 3/4 of an inch. I'm currently 210 pounds, 6'2". Jeff Hale is small. Sorry, but I think I could do anything I wanted to Jeff. Could Lachlan beat Prudnik? No, I wouldn't imagine so. Not yet. Prudnik's too big right now. Shane Carey, I'm growing seriously fast, brother. Thank you very much. I feel really good right now because of a combination of this training, and for the first time in my life, I'm being guided by a nutrition coach. Feels good. Dakota reality, is the earth flat? I have no idea, brother. What I do know is it takes 40 hours for me to get from Brisbane to Poland. That's from my getting on the plane to getting off the last plane, 40 hours. It's crazy. When's my next match, Zloty? Thank you, Lester, for the compliment. How big, from Invincible, how big of a difference do you think the thicker straps will make for the heavyweights? I think it's appropriate. You should have a thin strap for the women's and a thick strap for the supers and a medium-sized strap for the lightweights, etc., etc. Looking more like an athlete every day. Thank you, Pete May. How far off do you think Jordan Davis is from Mindaugas taracitis? I think Jordan Davis would beat Mindaugas Tarasitis. Right now, Jordan Davis would beat Mindaugas Tarasitis. I have never pulled Mindaugas, but I have gripped him in Moldova last year. He cornered me. He came up to me and said, Ryan, I want to feel your hand. We quickly put a strap on. We did. Oh, this was literally as I was walking out the building. We put a strap on and we both loaded up our back pressure. And our hands, from my impression, felt even on a chop and drag sense. I can tell you right now, if I do this against Jordan, my wrist goes, bleh. I cannot keep my hair. I trained with Jordan last night. We had ready-go practices. That man's taking my wrist every time. I have to pin Jordan Todd Hutchins style. Jordan is taller than Mindaugas. His hand is bigger than Mindaugas. Jordan's elbow to fingertip is the exact same length as Devin Larratt. Mindaugas Tarasitis has the wrong style. He has the worst possible style to beat Jordan Davis. I think that Jordan would win. All right. Just scrolling through these questions and more. Blackfield Jesus. Interesting comment. I want to address that one. You've said, truth is this channel isn't as good anymore. No John, no Devin, no breakdown videos, no competitions. Channel is what it is. I know the channel was born off a lot of commentary, breakdowns, all sort of stuff. Those sort of things still happen. We're just in a season right now where I pump out more content right now than I ever have before. Between all the events that I do, I need to put out content. And when there's no WAL on and there's nothing for me to actually commentate on, I'm just going to put these training things out. And that is the season we're in right now. When WAL is on, you'll see heaps of prediction shows. You'll see heaps of analysis shows. Whenever I visit guests, you'll see Devin on, you'll see John on, you'll see Todd on, you'll see all these people on when it is there. Yeah, it's just going to evolve, man. It's just going to keep on evolving. We're going to keep on pushing forward. I got more tournaments next year. I'm going to be hosting more and more tournaments. So there's going to be heaps coming. You just got to be patient, man. Thank you, Strength Old School. Yeah, Chris Gobby always likes to say I pay John. He likes to say that John and I are only friends because I pay him. Chris Gobby that's Chris Gobby. He wants to always try to, as he would describe it, be the vinegar in the arm wrestling world rather than sugarcoating things. But like you said, I've never paid John, and I'm very blessed now to call John a true friend. So it's awesome. Larratt versus Lachlan. Easy Lachlan right now. Would I arm wrestle somewhere in Australia to show up the sport for the normal folks around here? Yeah, look, Australia 2020 is going to be a big year for Australian arm wrestling. I'm going to host like a top 8 style event tournament for particularly Australia next year, to hopefully really showcase the sport here in Australia and get more people watching, more fans down here in Australia. Do you think you can make it to top 5 best arm wrestlers? Yeah. Look, publicly, my goal has always stepped up. My goal when I first started the sport was to be a national champion. I ticked that off 2.5 years into the sport. My current goal versus my current end state dream. My current goal is to, let's just say, talk 6 months ahead to win the WAL Hammer. That is a goal. My bigger ambition that's relevant at the moment is to reach the #1 rank in the world for my weight category, whatever my weight category may be, whether it be 210 pounds, 220 pounds, whatever. But eventually, yeah, I want to go down as one of the greats of all time, without a doubt. I've got a long time to go in this sport. I'm only 34 years old, so you're going to be seeing, I think in a decade from now, I'm going to be probably getting close to my peak. Combat Arms Sports Tables Durable. Yeah, the one that I'm training on, it's Combat Arms Sports. Seems good. Who is winning the heavyweight hammer for next season's WAL? Looking forward to seeing you more next season. You're very entertaining. Cheers, Kenneth from the UK. Thank you, Kenneth. My money is Devin Larratt will take the hammer. I think the big version of Devin Larratt's going to beat Michael Todd. Yeah, I think Devin's going to be the man next year. Do I know what my wingspan is? Yeah, 6'2" from fingertip to fingertip. What is the catch rate with glasses on top of my head? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what. I didn't even deliberately do this whole glasses thing. It's quite funny that it's turned out to be something. But yeah, glasses on top of my head. I feel like I would tell me. I feel like I should. I need to find a glasses manufacturer to make me a pound for pound arm wrestling set of glasses. I want 3 glasses in the series. I want hook, top roll, and press. Anyway, yeah, it's a funny one. What's my favorite type of cheese? Oh, Charu. Ah, the robot. My favorite type of cheese. I'm gonna go with Camembert. Good soft cheese. Any plans on making it to Tasmania? Yeah, I've never been. It's the one state of Australia I've never been. But yeah, I'd love to. I don't have plans, but I'd love to. Student of Devon, friends with Brzenk, student of Todzilla, living the dream. Certainly, I am living the dream. It's been amazing. In my quest to become as good as I potentially can be, I've managed to have my network of arm wrestling. They say surround yourself with the best possible people, and I don't think I can surround myself with better people now. I have in my head, I'm trying to be a defensive Devin Larratt, an offensive John Brzenk, as strong as Todzilla, who has the starts of Travis Bajan. That's the version of me that I'm trying to create. And so yeah, I'm living the dream for sure. And I honestly have you guys to thank for making that possible. None of it would be possible if this YouTube channel wasn't making money. None of it would be possible. So thank you. Am I getting to Zloty early to get used to the time? Yeah, I depart for Poland on the 3rd of December, and I compete on the 7th, so I'll get there 4 days early. Jordan Davis is looking very strong. Trained with him last night. That man is dangerous. I cannot wait to see. I hope if he executes, he has the honestly, I believe in Jordan Davis a lot. I think he could win the 78 kilos Zloty class for sure. If I were to arm wrestle a clone of myself, who would win? Asaf. Oh, that's fascinating. Which version of me is it? Let's just say if the top roll version pulled the hook version, who would win? That'd be a great match. I don't know. A lot of people think that I'm only good at beating hookers. It's because I've pulled a lot of hookers, and my recent wins have been against, I guess, hookers. But I actually feel just as confident pulling top rollers compared to pulling hookers. I think that my style, I feel like I have a very medium-sized hand, a very medium-length arm, a very middle-of-the-road biomechanics when it comes to the sport. So for me, I try to be a counter-attacker. My biggest objective is always to derail my opponent's groove. Whatever they want to do, I'm going to bump them off it, and then I'm going to bleed them and pin them if needed. Mr. Bowtie, if you're in your first months, man, you got to get conditioned to the sport. So just group up with experienced people. They'll guide you. Yeah. Have I ever pulled the Bama Bull? Come on, Lester. Surely you know that, brother. Yeah, he beat me in 2017 6-0, and I'm waiting on the call up from WAL to get my revenge. Grant Tolentino, yeah, you'll see him again. He always pops in and out of the sport. Would Travis beat Devin Wright? Yes, I think Travis would beat Devin. How much weight can I do on weighted pull-ups? I don't know. I don't do them. Thank you, Nick Rowe. Flow tester, yes. Whereabouts in Brisbane do I live? Oh, gee whiz. I live in the western suburbs of Brisbane. Redbank Plains. Can I compare Devon's hook training against Trubin's recently bicep hook with 50 kilos? There's so much to hook training. The fundamental strengths of what Devon focuses on. I don't know how Trubin really trains. That one video I don't think is a real representation. That was just kind of like a demonstration of power. Look at Top Dog. This guy actually thinks Davis could beat Tarasidas. Yes, sir, I do. And you know there's one other man out there who thinks it as well, Devon Larratt. Devon Larratt thinks that Jordan Davis will be a world champion. Probably because Jordan is like a mini Devon Larratt, and he's been taught by Devon Larratt, and he moves as well as Devon Larratt. And he's maturing in the sport. He's at about year 5 now in the sport. And you guys haven't seen Jordan Davis is positioned much like I was positioned last year. Okay, this time last year, everyone thought I was still a novice. Chris Gobby had me at literally novice level. Until I beat Evan Burgoyne, no one even knew that I was a decent arm wrestler. Jordan Davis is that. Let me tell you right now, I don't know, Top Dog, if you think I would beat Mindaugas Tarasidas. But right now, if I had a ready go with Jordan Davis, genuinely, okay, it's probably a 60-40 chance that I win. That's how good Jordan Davis is. Would I beat Tarasidas right now? I think I would. I think I would pretty convincingly. What do I think of Bortolato versus Matt Mask? Yeah, that'd be entertaining. Lots of energy. I think Matt Mask could win it. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through all these comments and questions, guys. Asia is making a big push. Yes, I agree with that, Sean Turner. I think Southeast Asia and China as well, really big, going to be in the sport. I think China will, now that their government funds the sport, I believe that China will be the #1 ranked arm wrestling nation for women within about 5 or 6 years. I think their lightweight divisions as well, they'll be right up there. But I feel like the women's is where you're going to see China really emerge. How much rest am I going to take before a tournament? Todd has me working right up to the point that I leave. Nothing is going to change in my program right up to the point that I leave. So I'll leave on the 3rd and I'll compete on the 7th. So 4 days prior is when I will stop. But if the tournament was here in Brisbane, I would train up until 2 days before. All right. I have no idea how many questions there are. Let's just keep going. How do you get into the WIL? To me, the formula for getting into the WIL, as far as I know it, is this. It is arm wrestling ability plus marketability equals your value to the WIL. I believe that they are both important. You can't have one without the other. Or you can. You can have, like John Brzenk, for instance, doesn't need to do anything on a social media level to be able to get an invite because he is such a good arm wrestler. I obviously got an invite because I was very loud on marketing, and as soon as my arm wrestling ability was good enough, WAL saw potential in me bringing them value. So it's a combination of those two factors. Having a look. More questions. Will I ever pull a tournament left-handed? Yeah, I always pull tournaments left-handed. I'm just no good left-handed. But Todd does have me training left-handed now. My arm strength on my left is getting up there. My left arm 1 rep max is now above where my right 1 rep max started. So that gives you an idea of where my left is. Problem is my left hand is nowhere near as strong as my right hand. And this training doesn't really make my hand that much stronger. My hand in a rotation sense is weak. My wrist rise is good. My cupping is average. But my arm strength is getting good. My back pressure is really good. Side pressure is decent. But my left hand is also uncoordinated. But will I pull left? Yes, I'm going to pull it at Zloty. You'll see my left compete at Zloty. If I get a win at Zloty on left, I will be happy. Just one, just one. But the reason I'm going to pull left at Zloty is basically to get the familiarity of the refereeing. How long did it take to place? When I won the very first tournament that I ever pulled. Question from Ochir Erkumbaya. But the situation was the Australian Arm Wrestling Federation and the scene here was very new. I got into the sport here in Australia when the Australian Arm Wrestling Federation only been in existence for 3 years. So I was taking on guys that have been pulling for a maximum of 3 years, and I won my first tournament. Who would win, Jeff Hale or Jordan Davis? Oh, that's a tough one. I would like to see that match. Very contrasting styles. Jeff's fast. Jordan's vulnerability is short guys with speed. So Jeff is someone who could knock Jordan into a hook. If it got into a hook, I think Jeff would win. If Jordan managed to keep his pronation, Jordan would win. Some questions that here I'm glossing over. Sorry, guys, I can't keep up with all of them. I don't know about this new 5-rep method adopted by Devon. All I know is that the Todd Hutchins method works. You should all do it. How does gripping up with Lachlan compared to gripping up with someone like Devon, John, or Travis? Lachlan is strong. Let me tell you, Lachlan's numbers in the gym, his hand strength is stupid. He is side pressuring 94 kilos at the moment. He is coached by Giannis Amelins. His program is designed by Giannis Amelins. Lachlan is absurdly strong. How does it feel to Devon? Devon is someone who gives you space and squeezes you with his hand and tries to bleed you. Lachlan feels like someone who tries to bully you. He just tries to go, boof, I'm too strong for you. So it feels very different. Travis, very different again. He dominates the height. Lachlan's short, so he doesn't feel like that. But Lachlan is becoming legitimately relevant in a strength sense. Lachlan's downfall is experience. He's still new to the sport. He's still trying to get his table IQ up high enough. But his strength is there. Theodore, no, I'm not a fake natty. I will get on TRT at some point in my life. Not yet. What is my opinion on a one-arm pull-up with wrist flexed? It's a good thing. Most lightweight elite arm wrestlers can do it. Most guys, as soon as they get to that kind of 90 kilos to 200 pounds and above, stop being able to do one-arm chins. I can't do them. I'm 210 pounds. I can't do them. No, I've never pulled Ryan Espy. Thank you for the pronunciation compliment there. Prudnik, I believe, will beat Ongabayev. What are my thoughts on Schoolboy? I think Schoolboy is one of those guys that will become a genuine elite in the future. I think he's huge. I don't know how tall he is, but he looks enormous. Seeing him next to his brother, he looks enormous. So I think that he'll do well. I believe he's pulled. I can't remember if Danny Tesh pulled him or not. I think Danny Tesh has pulled him. Danny beat him, but he's going to be. He's so young that he's got so much more to grow into yet. How tall is Lachlan? I think Lachlan's like 6'1". Do I love Devon? Yes. Look, I finally got to the bottom of the questions. And the last question would be, how would you train when you live somewhere where nobody arm wrestles? How would I train if no one arm wrestled? Exactly how I am right now. Todd Hutchins does, like he says, typically 2 to 3 table time sessions a year. You still need to learn how to arm wrestle. If you're going to need to learn how to arm wrestle, just study the people that are similar to yourself, have similar builds. Watch them the way they move. Shadow box as though you are them. In your mind, you can still create a good arm wrestling disciplines. But if you want to get strong, exactly how I'm training right now works really well. Can I straighten my arm still? That's my right arm straightened. That's my left arm straightened. So you can see my left goes a lot further than my right. Right, boom, boom, boom. The more time I spend in this sport, the more my joints are seizing up. Will Kenny Hughes ever be a world champ? I don't think so. How much is my 90-degree bicep static 2-second hold, both with supinated hand and neutral hand? I don't do them Death Dragon, but you've seen what my 1 rep maxes are. My 1 rep max on back pressure on, where is it? Low pro. I have like a with a pronation handle 52.2. So I can do 52.2 kilos with a pronation handle, which is back pressure, which is 90 degrees. So the fact I can lift up that 52, yeah. If I was to just, I don't know. I don't do static holds like that. I don't like doing eccentrics. They hurt. Yes, the bottom of the questions evades me. There's more coming. Do I train triceps? Yes, I do bobbly weight triceps every evening, 5 days a week. Yeah, Lachlan is short compared to me, even though he's 6'1" and I'm just a touch above him. His arms are short. He's got little tiny arms. Lachlan's got little tiny arms like this, and so I don't have a drama getting over the top of him. Kenneth, you're 45. Are you too old to start? No. One of the best things about this sport is the longevity in it. And old man tendons get stiff, and old man tendons, how I describe it, let's say an old guy, 45-year-old guy versus an 18-year-old guy that have the exact same strength in terms of their 1 rep max. When you grip the old guy in a ready go, it feels like instantaneous force. When you grip the young guy, it feels like a rubber band of force. So that instantaneous nature that old guys have because of the stiffness of their tendons and their connective tissue is an advantage in arm wrestling, I believe. So, yeah, 45 is not too late. Biggest hand I've ever gripped up with, Oleg Zok. Trubin versus Brzenk. Probably Trubin right now. Size difference between my right and left. My right, when I'm pumped, is like 17.25 inches. My left is like 16.25 inches. So an inch difference. How do I already answered the question about how I'd go with Brzenk. You have to watch the video back. Jason M, how did you get a bone lock with your right arm already? Never an injury. This is just time under tension. I've just done. It's not a bone lock. I don't think it's a bone lock. I think that it's, well, maybe it is a bone lock. I don't know. I think it's the tightening of tendons over time. I've spent so much time in this arm wrestling position and under lots of pressure. I've been doing this now for 6.5 years, full effort. 6.5 years of going all in on right has done that. So, yeah. Do we have Voltaren Emel Gel in Australia? Yes. It's just an anti-inflammatory. It's not anything special, but yeah. Do I think I could beat Scott Mendelson? Yes. Scott's strong, but I think I'd beat him. Ron Barth training for the WA 2020 season. Yeah, I don't know. Ron looked good against Matt Mask. I think we'll see Ron back in the WAL 2020. Would love to see it. I'd like a match with Ron too. That'd actually be really cool. Peak Devon versus Peak Travis. I'm going to go Travis every day. He's just the right style to beat Devon. TSB, yeah, he is as strong as a T-Rex. Do I train bodybuilding? Asaf, I don't really train bodybuilding. But a lot of my work that Todd has me doing is a volume style. So there's kind of a crossover there. Grip training. I think grip is pretty closely associated. Question from That's so Kim Reloaded. Okay, that's all right. That's the username. Do I think grip is interesting? Yeah, it's interesting. It's closely related to arm wrestling, but it would just be a hobby. And for me, if you're all in on arm wrestling, chasing the elite level of that, then I don't have time for grip training. Thank you for the comments from a few people there. Louis Ramos, how much do I weigh when I first started arm wrestling? Because I'm very light. When I first started arm wrestling, I was 84 kilos. I'm now 95. Can I beat Vlad though? I believe I could beat Vlad. Yeah. I only gripped up with Vlad in a after pulling sense. Slow pulling with Vlad, and we were both in varying states of fatigue. Um, I pulled Vlad at John Brzenk's place at the barbecue, and slow pulling with him, top roll v top roll, he was going to take me. But what I could feel was that if it was a ready go, I'd be able to pop his hand. So I think I'd beat Vlad. If I tried to hook him, he could press me, and I'm like, that's nasty. So I think ready go, I could beat Vlad. No, I'm not going to retire early, TSB. I don't want to. I love this sport too much. When is Lottie? December 7th. Is that a gecko you hear in the background? Who knows? There's all sorts of crazy creatures down here in Australia. Could be. Is Toddzilla in the 95 kilo top 8 next year? Good question, Timmy Turner. I think that he would be a shoe-in to be one of the champions. I think he has contract issues, though, because he is an American WAL puller. I don't believe those guys can because they're on a tighter contract. Me, I'm not a contracted WAL athlete, being an international, so I'm free to do so. John Brzenk is not a contracted WAL athlete, so I believe he is free to do so. But yeah, Toddzilla would be awesome as one of the champions in the 95 kilo class. I have no doubt. Does my back injury hurt? Not so much anymore. I've got on top of it over the years. How's the weight cut going? I am right on 95 kilos. My nutritionist has me. When I started with the nutritionist, I dropped from 95 very quickly down to 92 and a half. And he said, whoa, 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 we don't want you light. We want you 95. So he is force feeding me a lot of carbohydrates. Got my weight back up to 95. I'm still losing fat, which was the cool thing. I thought when he bumped my calories back up that I wasn't going to lose fat, but I had a checkup just the other day, and after 2 weeks of being on the nutrition plan under him, I dropped 1.3% body fat, even though I'm back up to 95 kilos. No, I don't bench press SB. I'm not training for squats or anything like that right now. Any strategic reason to be so hunched over when you pull? I am quite kyphotic, my back. I have a hunch naturally that I'm trying to fix, so I don't do it. It's just my posture. How are the spiders there? Yeah, my son got bitten by a spider just 2 nights ago. First time in his life. He literally thought he was going to die. Poor little fella. But he got bitten by a what was it? A garden orb weave spider, which is the most common spider in Australia. He got bitten by it. Scary looking thing. He got bitten on the finger. It was in his bed. But yeah. But there's a couple of spiders down here that'll kill you. Can I take Bishop yet? Yeah, I think so. Evening, Cubs from Denmark. Good stuff. Good night, Theodore. 1 a.m. You're off to bed. Good stuff. A lot of Bishop questions. Yep, I can beat him. Do I ever think professional arm wrestlers will make the money that they deserve? It's how much do they deserve? That's the question. John Brzenk says he's made about $1 million in arm wrestling, roughly. I think that it's improving. It's improving, and things like YouTube allow us to be independent promoters of ourselves when it comes to arm wrestling. So I think that arm wrestlers have the opportunities. They need to be guided. Leagues are starting to pay more. So I think we're going to see arm wrestling, the amount of money that arm wrestlers are taking home, increasing steadily over the years. And how much do they deserve? I don't think we're ever going to be matched with tennis and golf and baseball and American football and all sorts of stuff. But I think it's going to get to the point where arm wrestlers can do nothing else but arm wrestle. Good night, Lester. Thanks for tuning in. And when arm wrestling is coming to regular Olympics? Oh, I have no idea if it'll ever make Olympics. Yeah. All right, I'm back to the bottom again, guys. I'm going to wrap it up there because I'm literally in the middle of a training session. I've done my right arm speed. I need to go do this left arm that you guys always tell me to do. And I'm filming the YouTube channel, so the video will be out in maybe 6 to 8 hours from now from this session. But I wanted to thank you all sincerely for tuning in here. We've been talking for 50 minutes, which is really cool. I don't know. Did you guys enjoy this? Let me know after I've ended this. Leave a comment for me whether you'd like me to do these more often, how often you'd like me to do it. Maybe once a month or something like that. But I was just sitting here in between sets, and I thought, man, I should go on live and just say hello to people on YouTube because there's probably some questions out there. And look, I really enjoyed all the questions today, guys. So thank you very much. But I'm gonna head off and I'm gonna finish this session. And yeah. This was cool. Please do more live streams in the future. Thank you. Awesome to see that you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, Zlotita is only literally like 3.5 weeks away. It's crazy. Ready, go. He's getting real close. I have 3 1-rep max sessions before then, so it's going to be cool. And, oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm feeling so strong. All right, guys. Take care. And good night if you're in the US. Good morning, good lunch, good whatever if you're in Australia. See you guys. All right, now I've got to work out how to end this thing.